What's up, Pendeos? We're back at it again. Today we're going to be going over a cool car segment, which is on vehicles that are not talked about enough. Believe it or not, these two are diesels. Let's get to it. So yes, guys, this is in fact a diesel. Look at the big fat D. Not the one that you're thinking about, perverted mouth. So here we have an F15 chassis. This chassis ranges from 2014 all the way to 2018 when they discontinued this model. This is the second BMW SUV that we got in the United States market with a diesel. First one was on the E70, which was from late 07 to late 2013 with the M57 engine. I've personally had one of these for over a year. Fantastic vehicles, literally bulletproof. With these vehicles, you can expect up to about 32 to 35 miles a gallon, which is insane. As modern as it may look on the outside, just look at the inside. This one here is equipped with the optional Bang & Olufsen sound system, which if you like your house music, definitely get it. If you like more of your hip hop, classic jazz, stuff like that, I would recommend to stick with the Harman Kardon. Back here, you got plenty of room to put your baby seat in the back. Super comfy, plenty of room. The back seats do fold down, so you can have way more space in the back cargo area. This has the old school E70, E53, and the LR322 Range Rover style hatchback trunk. You can sit down here, holds up to a lot of weight, even my fat ass. So in terms of German reliability, these are probably the best SUVs to own, hands down. However, there are a couple things you got to look out for. So with both vehicles here, you'll really want to watch out for the timing chain, EGR coolers, motor mounts, transmission mounts. Other than that, they're pretty reliable. Long-term wise, you'll want to probably delete the EGR, the diesel exhaust fluid delete, and just a simple flush will take care of that. The reason you want to do that is because the standard emissions devices on both of these vehicles, they actually introduce a lot of carbon buildup and soot into the intake manifold, which ruins your valve train. Over time, it actually reduces your engine power, reliability, and durability. So besides these two, there's actually a couple other vehicles that pertain to this German sector of diesel SUVs. So we're also missing the Audi Q5 TDI, the Q7 TDI, which share the same engine and transmission platform as this Cayenne, which is pretty much a Volkswagen Touareg with a Porsche badge on it. Don't hate on me yet, I'll tell you why. With these versus the X5, not much to mention on this car in particular as far as cosmetics goes. I mean, throughout this generation of Cayenne, you'll want to make sure that these headlights are in pretty pristine condition. They do have issues with the gaskets that just dry rot and bake with the sun. I mean, that's normal. That's a used car, especially when it's over 15 years old. The outside of the body is, in my honest opinion, it's a little dated, but some people still like the patina look. So the towing capacity on this Cayenne is going to be very similar to the X5. It's going to be around roughly 67 to about 7,500 pounds. So you can tow a trailer and a little race car in the back if you want. In my humble opinion, I don't think you're going to have as much room in the trunk as you do in the X5, but you know, and for comparison, you have the power liftgate there as well. Don't mind the FedEx envelopes, I collect them. As we go into the cabin, it is very Volkswagen-y inside of this, but you got your Porsche badge. Now on the Cayennes, on the turbos and the Turbo S's, I mean, it's not diesel related, but what's good about these interiors is that you have your standard dashboard. You don't have your full leather dash upholstery here, and you don't have your full dash leather door panels here. And the biggest plus is the suspension on this car. This is a regular McPherson strut. So if you look at the center console right there, you're going to see that there's no suspension controls. That's a plus. And the reason for that is that for the vehicles that are equipped with the nitrogen suspension, you all have your nitrogen tank that's located right here on the underneath of this panel, and you're going to be driving with about over 150 psi of nitrogen, which is pretty much like driving a Hiroshima bomb. So on the Cayennes, you don't really have too many options on the sound system, unlike the X5. These come with a pretty standard Bose sound system, which still does the job. As I mentioned earlier, on the X5, you can pick between the standard stock sound system, or you can get the Harman Kardon, as well as the Bang & Olufsen that's equipped on this vehicle right here. Both of these vehicles are equipped with the Kuchacha seats. So you have your ventilated seats as well as heated seats. It's an option on the X5, unfortunately, and it's also a very hard one to come across. The Cayenne, I believe, has not aged as well as the X5 does. If you compare both of these vehicles, the X5 still looks fresh and new and modern. The Cayenne kind of looks dated, but you get your Porsche badge out of it. So if you don't happen to contact us to get you one of these vehicles, market-wise, you're going to be looking around high teens to low 30s, depends on the specs and year of the vehicle. This one's going to be more or less the same. You're going to probably be in the mid-teens to late 20s and you'll get yourself a really good ride. Now we're going to take you guys behind the wheel of both of these vehicles so you guys can see the features and drivability. Let's go. All right, so several hours later, we're behind the wheel of the X5. I wanted to give you guys a proper night POV for these vehicles so you can check out all the cool instrumentation, lighting, and ambient lighting that these vehicles have. Let's first check out the range that we have on this vehicle. That's the most important thing. Here we have over 430 miles. I just put a little bit of fuel into it, and we're not even at a full tank. We're at a little bit past quarter full. And from prior experience with these vehicles, I've had many of these, even on one, as I mentioned earlier. On a full tank, expect at least 650 to 700 miles of range. That's assuming you're doing mainly highway driving. If you're doing a little bit of mix in the city, you should be able to at least achieve 550, 600 miles of range if your right foot is not so aggressive as mine. On this one, since it's equipped with the Bang & Olufsen, you also have the ambient lighting for both door speakers, as well as the center dash speaker, which will rise and go down as you turn on and turn off the vehicle, which is also a very cool feature. As I mentioned earlier, this one also has the optional vented and heated seats. This one will also have standard auto-dimming mirrors on both sides of the car, unlike Mercedes that typically only has the auto-dimming for the driver's side mirror, and the passenger side mirror is usually just a regular glass, which is insane for the amount of money they charge for vehicles nowadays. So this one in particular is equipped with the rear air ride suspension, so the rear shocks are air, the fronts are regular McPherson strut. Something to look out for. I mean, they will eventually go bad on you. That's just part of life with any one of these vehicles. But once you do take care of that, they are very robust and they do last you a long time. I mean, this one has over 97,000 original miles, and the rear shocks actually went bad sometime last year, roughly like around 86, 85,000 miles, and they were changed out for under $2,000 and never gave me an issue ever since. I've had plenty of these vehicles with the regular non-air ride setup, which rides just as good as this, probably a little cunt hair stiffer, but I don't think it's a must. If you really want the air ride, go for it. I don't think it's necessary. I think you'll be just fine without it. Another thing that's incredible with these N57 vehicles, especially on the X5 platform, with weighing what it does, which is 5,000 pounds, does what it does. It does not drive like a soccer mom car or some prickly SUV. This still feels like a sports SUV, which is hard to say because it is just an X5, plain Jane X5. It's not an X5M. It doesn't have the N63 engine or the S63 engine under the hood, which in my opinion is a gigantic piece of shit. Maintenance wise and longevity wise, those are fucking trash. Do not get those. Those are fucking pieces of shit with a lot of oil consumption. But this thing puts out 550 foot-pounds of torque with 375 horsepower. So to say the very least that it's peppy is an understatement. I think this thing will get you up and going, as you will see shortly here on the highway. Just wanted to give you guys a quick glimpse of the camera setup on this vehicle. Right here I am on the rear camera only, which includes the parking guided lines as well as the front and rear parking sensors. And at the touch of a button, I will have the 360 camera, so you'll see your whole peripheral view, which is really cool. And you can decide your lighting output, screen brightness. You can also have the parking aided lines on and off, which is cool. I mean, hopefully people that have these cars have brains, so they should know how to park their car. But other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'd like to thank my good friend Matt over at MS Design for letting me use his personal vehicle so I can complete this review for you guys today. Without him, this wouldn't be impossible. I'm actually the one who convinced him to get this vehicle a couple years ago, and he hasn't looked back ever since. This is probably the best car he's ever had in his entire life. And anything you guys need for signs, graphics, or anything related to that, hit him up over at MS Design on IG. Give him a follow. So another pro of having one of these is that you will never, ever end up like a Tesla driver. And if we look here closely at this Model 3, this pendejo literally just ate a fucking wall when the car, you know what, fuck that. Let me just keep showing it to you guys, because I love Tesla so much, as you guys can see. A self-driving car and an automated car is supposed to prevent that from happening, but it didn't. So if you do not want to end up like these guys that are relying on fossil fuels to charge their cars, please buy a diesel. You'll do the world a favor. Have to go back again one last time for the Teslas. Gotta show them love. Counting every single feet that they have to drive every single day. That's just a stress altogether. All right, let's take this thing for a little highway cruise. Hopefully the CRV up ahead doesn't fuck me up. Car really, for its size, is super well planted, even around corners. No creases, no cracks, no nothing like that. Yeah, the CRV is fucking me up. Hold on. Power away on through here. Power away on through here. Again, cabin noise is very non-existent. Past this piece of shit over here. And the instant torque that you get is just, we're already doing 100. Not even blinking twice. I'm not even putting my foot down. This is literally 30% throttle right now. And guess what, guys? We still got 427 miles of range. Where else are you gonna get that? Not even a freaking brand new Honda's getting that kind of range. The more and more that I drive this car, it makes me fall in love with this platform all over again. Incredible amount of car for the money. If you guys haven't guessed it yet, this is the one to buy. 110%. Fuck 110%. 1,000,000%. This is the car to buy. If you want to buy the Porsche, that's fine. Everybody's taste is different. But if you had to compare the Audi Q7 TDI, the Audi Q5 TDI, which are all the same platform as the Cayenne and the Touareg, or even the Mercedes-Benz ML350 Blue Tech, which is also a good car. You can also get the GL350 Blue Tech with the same 3-liter diesel from Mercedes, which is, they have their fair share of issues, not as much as you would think, but this is the one to buy. I personally was not a big fan of the ML350 Blue Tech. I saw that the overall cabin did not have the same ambiance as this. This is nice. I mean, you should have no complaints being in this cabin for 10 hours plus a day. It's literally the best all-around SUV you can get. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, for the price that these are going for, yes, you can get a 2018. That's the last year that they produced these vehicles in the United States. Unfortunately, we did not get the 40D, which is a V8 diesel, which is amazing. I've driven a couple of those overseas. Very torquey. If you think this engine is torquey, it takes the shit on this one. But for the price that these are going for, again, you can pay over $30,000 for one of these easily if you have the right spec, color combo, and everything like that. And me personally, my favorite color combo on this car obviously is going to be Alpine white with the brown or black interior. Second will have to be carbon black metallic with the black or brown interior. I cannot emphasize it enough. This is what you need to buy. If you do not buy one of these, I think you're missing out on a lot of potential. And you're gonna probably waste your money on some modern day car that has a bunch of fucking problems. Fuck this asshole and a fucking piece of shit Nissan, bro. Nissans are such pieces of shit. Alright, as I was saying, if you want longevity with these vehicles, just go ahead and get a DPF delete, DEF delete, and an EGR cooler delete. Do the whole 3 with a tune and you will be fine. Same thing applies to the M57 cars on the earlier predecessor on the E70 and also the E90 chassis. Both had that platform. Again, here we go with a Tesla. Come on, man. Come on. Fuck me, bro. Fucking piece of shit. Oh, fuck. Alright, as I was saying, if you want longevity for these vehicles, all you gotta do is an EGR delete, DPF delete, and a DEF delete. You get that taken care of so you don't have to build up any soot or carbon buildup into the intake manifold and clog up your valves, kind of like a really bad heart, like a fat fuck with a heart attack. And these cars will last you a very long time. EPA is just a bunch of hypocrites when it comes to that shit, because they pollute all the fucking time. Sorry guys, but we really have fucking retards driving in Miami, man. They give these permits out like fucking cereal boxes. It's everybody's eating shit on their phone. Miami drivers are the worst in the world, man. I've been all over the place, every part of the world that you can imagine, and nothing compares to drivers, dude. This is why our insurance is so high. All right, so we're behind the wheel now of the Cayenne Diesel. Two completely different atmospheres and ambiance compared to the X5. I mean, there's nothing to compare. It's a totally different vibe. This is very just a straightforward car. There's no crazy gizmos, no crazy electronics, no complicated suspension to worry about. Got the planes in the background here, guys. This is just pretty straightforward. Yes, you have your toggle switch here for your GPS, your radio and whatnot, oil levels, coolant level, temperature level, tire pressure here. It's a pretty neat little menu, nothing too complicated. My personal favorite is to keep it here on the map, that way you can have everything all together. This is just a very straightforward car. Everything here is all button, there's no knobs, there's no iDrive, there's no nothing like that. You just have your standard controls for your heated and ventilated seats. I've got my cuchacha seat on right now. That's very important. Doesn't matter if it's 11 o'clock at night and 75, 80 degrees outside. We need our cuchacha seats, man. You have no complicated suspension like I mentioned earlier in the video, which is a plus. You have your standard Bose sound system, which is not half bad. It's not a half bad sound system. I still think the Harman Kardon or the Bang & Olufsen and the X5 is better. If you guys feel like having the Porsche, that's everybody's entitled to their personal opinion and preferences, but if you really want to have the best bang for your buck, and I'm all about the best bang for your buck, get the X5. But yes, this one has the standard clock on the center of the dash. It doesn't have the chrono sport package or anything like that. I do have a Platinum that I just got this morning that does have the sport chrono package on it, so that's a cool feature to have. As far as the ambient lighting goes, you're pretty much just gonna get this on your door panels here, upper ambient lighting here on the top, and that's pretty much it. You're not gonna have your blues and violets and purple colors to choose from. It's just a very straightforward Volkswagen atmosphere, as obviously this is the Touareg, so you're gonna have that setup there, but it's a very straightforward car, really and truly straightforward car. The insulation on this car is really not half bad. I would say it's very close to the X5. It's still a very quiet place to be. Right now we're barely partial throttle and it's still got plenty of torque to keep it going. As far as it being planted, I still feel like the X5 wins and takes a shit on this. As far as stability and handling goes, the X5 takes it. Right now, we are full throttle right now. Yeah, let me back off a little bit. Nothing crazy, you know. I mean, it's still just a cool little cruiser, man. If you want one of these, you're buying it for the bragging rights of having a diesel Porsche. That's really what it comes down to. Or if you just personally like these cars, I have clients of mine that grab these from me and they turn them into 4x4 off-road kings, and they take them all to these different dunes and off-roading sites around the country, and they have a fun time with them. But other than that, this is literally just a point A to point B car. If you want to just take it to the groceries and back, it's really all it's meant for. There's not going to be much else to do on this car. Just like the X5, this one also has just like the X5, the Cayenne is also equipped with the blind spot assist. As I turned on right here, it's on both sides of the mirrors. Very typical Volkswagen fashion. Again, I'm going to side with the X5 on this one. I think the X5 system is way nicer, This one feels a little outdated, but it'll still get the job done. Not trying to be one-sided here, but I've owned just about every single one of these cars, or any other car you can imagine. I've been in this game for over 15 years. I've driven anything you can imagine, and hands down, the X5 is where it needs to be at. You know, if you guys want to buy the Porsche, by all means, everybody's entitled to their own preferences and opinions, but not saying this is a bad car by any means. We still love these Cayenne Diesels. They're very cool and very sought after. As I mentioned earlier in the video, it is a very niche market, and the people that know about them, and the ones that don't, well, ignorance is bliss, right? So at the end of the day, I believe that whichever one you choose between both of these, that you will be content and happy with your purchase. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that the Porsche is a bad car by any means. Porsche is my favorite brand. But if we had to give a non-biased, a non-one-sided review, like I said, I've owned every single car you can imagine. I'm still going to go with the X5. This car is on a completely different league to the X5. I mean, this is going to be more for the simplified individual that still wants to retain some kind of old school patina. I'm not even gonna say patina, just some old school look. Just get the X5. We're done here. Just get the X5. There's no comparison. Have a good one, guys. All right, guys, so that pretty much sums it up for today's video with these two diesel SUVs. Please give us a like, follow, and subscribe. And if you're interested in one of these, hit us up on IG at SAB of Miami Sales. Catch you later.